Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 4, I believe, of Vlogmas. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I want to just talk to you guys about how I'm a lawyer and how I became a lawyer, and then also how I got into fashion blogging and how I'm able to do both at the same time. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about me, please keep on watching. If you guys didn't know, I am a lawyer. I have been one for about 5 years now, and so I'll just take you from the beginning, what I had to do and stuff like that. So when I was like super young, like probably around 7, I decided I wanted to be a lawyer. And the way that came about is I was watching TV with my mom, and there was like a lawyer movie, I don't know, and I was like, oh, I want to do that, you know, because it looks so fun. And so my dad was there, my mom was there, they were like, oh, you can do whatever you can be whatever you want to be. So I was like, okay. So at a young age, I had that already, that idea in my head that I wanted to do that. And I knew if I wanted to do that, I kind of already knew that you had to get good grades and stuff like that, go to college and stuff like that. So I was always involved in sports in high school, so you kind of had to keep your grades up anyway, because if your grades weren't up, you could not play in the game. So I made sure to keep my grades up. Nigerian, so in our culture, like, not going to college is not an option. So my parents really, you know, I never grew up thinking that I wasn't gonna go, and so I knew that you had to get good grades to get into college. So anyways, I studied hard and I got into college, and I went to the University of California, Irvine, Zot. There I was like, it was a shock. Everything was kind of different, and the curriculum was really intense, and I remember doing so bad my first semester and just being like, really, can I do this? You know, is this something that I can do? And just a tip, whenever you feel like that, the way I get through it is I literally say to myself, like, that person is a lawyer, or that person graduated from college, that person got through this class, these prerequisites were required if you're going into this type of study, or whatever it can be. And I always say to myself, if that person can do it, and they're not superhuman, they're just a human, just like me, they have a brain, then I can do it. It means that they just worked hard, and I need to work hard. And if they can do it, what it means is that this is not impossible. And if it's not impossible, I'm gonna do it, you know? And if you have that mentality when you think about anything in life, like, it really gets you through it. I went ahead and I graduated college. It took me 4 years. My major was criminology, law, and society. So it's more about like the study of why criminals commit crimes, right? And so that was super interesting. I had a pretty interesting major. And so after that, I did my internships and things, and then I took the LSAT. And when I took the LSAT, I applied to a whole bunch of law schools, and I got into the one that I went to, Whittier Law in Orange County, and that's that. And so the first year of law school, guys, was so hard. And this is my tip to you if you want to be an attorney, is like, you gotta love it. Us working hard will get you there, but also what will get you through that first year is your passion. If you do not have passion for it, don't do it, because it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. But once you get through your first year, right, then your 3 years? Yeah, your 2 other years are like undergrad, you know. So, and undergrad is fun, by the way, I didn't mention that, but besides all the studying and all this, it's all about balance. So I had a lot of fun in college. You're challenged to think in different ways. And so anyways, so when I was in law school, one of the hardest things were they stripped down the way you thought, the way you analyzed, the way you wrote, and they taught you the way you need to think, the way you need to analyze, and the new way you need to write. So that's what made it very, at least, difficult for me. And then on top of that, you have like books that look like encyclopedias that you will read the whole thing. So that's kind of my law thing. So I graduated law school, I took the bar, and that was probably that was one of the hardest things, like, besides law school, the hardest academically challenging thing that I've ever done. And that's when that mentality comes back, where you have to think, you know, that person's an attorney. There are so many attorneys, and they had to take the same bar exam. And if they can do it, it is not impossible. So what I have to do is I have to put in the work extra hard, and just do it, focus. And so that's what I did. So throughout that whole story that I told you guys, from a young age, I knew I loved fashion. Fashion was also one of my biggest passions. And I just knew growing up, like for example in high school, like I would wear things. I went to a private school, so we had uniforms, so it wasn't really that much dressing differently, but if I could put a little spice in it, I would. So to wearing cardigans, or to wearing moccasins. And I remember when I first wore moccasins, my friends were like, what are you wearing? Like, what is that? And then like down the line, some of them got moccasins. So it's kind of how it started. I always loved fashion, and I would style my brother. I didn't know what to wear, so I'd say, I'll go to the store with you and help you pick out something. So that's kind of how it started. For Instagram, I was on Tumblr, so I was like just tumbling hours after hours. Even in law school, I would like, my breaks would just be on Tumblr, just looking at fashion photos, reposting them, reblogging them, and just loving it. And then Instagram came around. And also during the time that I was taking the bar exam for law school, I also started my YouTube. So, and that's when I decided I wanted to do both, because there was always this love for fashion and law, but I felt like law was more, at least for me, like safe, right? And fashion, I didn't know where it would go, so I decided to make fashion my hobby. But even though it's my hobby, I put my all into it when I'm doing videos for you guys and creating, and I freaking love it. So my YouTube doesn't support me, my law job supports me, and so it gives me a freedom though to do a lot with my own YouTube. I've worked with a few brands, not a lot, but I do this for fun. This is legit my passion. So what you see on my channel is real. It's usually things I've purchased with my own money, and you know, things that I genuinely want to share with you guys. And even if I wasn't sharing it with you guys, are things I would wear. So in order to balance the two, it's really hard because I do work Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Sunday. I have to go into the office on the weekend to keep up with my workload. And then I also make sure to film. So I try to film it like in between work, maybe on my lunch, or I'll film on the weekends. I'll try to film as much as I can on the weekends, or I'll film when I get home. But now, because of the time change, it does get dark, so it makes it a little harder. But staying organized and on top of it is the best way to be able to do both. So basically, I wanted to do this video so that you guys could learn a little bit about me, and then you guys can also know that you don't have to just pick one thing you want to do. You could do whatever you want, and you can do as many different things as you want, and I'm living proof of that. So if you want to be an attorney, don't ever think to yourself that it is impossible, because there are other people just like me that did it. And don't ever think you cannot be an attorney and a blogger, or an attorney and something else, or whatever it is. You can do whatever you want. And also, one last tip, and it's been hard, it was hard for me to really understand this, but there will be people that are hating on you, especially when you start your YouTube. There will be people who won't understand what YouTube is, why you're recording yourself. There will be people who will make fun of you, who will make you feel like you don't want to do this, or you shouldn't do this, or you're stupid for doing this, or you're weird, or whatever it is. Don't let those people get in your head. I've learned that those are very small-minded people, and that there are people who are like trapped in this box. Let them be trapped in their own way of thinking and in their own box. Me, myself, when I started, I've always had a YouTube, but I don't like tell my coworkers unless they see it. I mean, my Instagram is public, I don't hide it. And my friends know, and some of my coworkers will know. Sometime into my law job, they found out because they followed me on Instagram that I did YouTube, and like they made fun of me. They really made fun of the fact that I did that, and you just can't let it bother you, because it doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody says, and I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm always gonna do what I wanna do, and when people make fun of you, they're just small-minded people, and they don't know how to think beyond what they think is normal. Anyways, that's just a little inspiration talk at the end. And then also just wanted you guys to know a little bit more about me and what I do. And so I don't want to make this video too long and bore you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about how I studied for the bar, the schools I went to, I don't know, anything, and my Tumblr, it's still there, I think, and all of that stuff, just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to respond. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Vlogmas. Bye.